What if most of your potential clients are already deciding whether to book with you before they ever contact your salon? Today's beauty clients are doing something that barely existed 10 years ago. They're conducting a full digital audit before they ever click book now or pick up the phone to call you. If you want to understand how clients are really choosing their salon today and what you need to understand and do differently if you want to stay competitive, keep listening. Welcome to the Salon Scoop, the podcast that helps salon owners and salon professionals grow their business, boost their brand, and stay inspired. From salon marketing and social media to leadership and growth, we uncover the strategies and stories that move the industry forward. If you love learning, growing, and are serious about leveling up your salon business and brand, you've just found your new go-to podcast. Welcome back to the Salon Scoop, everyone. Today, we're diving into something that has quietly become one of the most important realities of running a salon in today's world: the research first client. Right? Before clients ever pick up the phone or click your booking link, they're evaluating your business across multiple platforms, whether it's Google, website, social media, even educational content you share. And in many cases, the booking decision is already made before they ever interact with you directly. So today, to delve into all this, I've got Sarah Perrin with me, salon owner, service provider, digital marketer extraordinaire. And we're going to unpack what modern salon clients are actually looking for during that research process. Sarah, what are our listeners going to get out of today's episode with us?
So in today's episode, we're going to talk about the 5 digital touch points clients evaluate before they ever book an appointment, why social media is no longer just marketing, it has become your credibility and discovery engine, and how salons that combine strong websites, educational content, and consistent online visibility are winning more new clients than ever.
Exactly. So Sarah and I are going to delve into those topics because once you understand how clients are actually making their decisions today, what they're actually looking for behind the scenes, it becomes much easier for you as a salon professional to position yourself so that you're the obvious choice. All right, so let's get into it. Sarah, maybe you can kick things off and talk to us about just the rise, the shift towards this sort of research first client in the beauty industry and what that really means for us.
Well, I thought it was interesting how you brought up that kind of like in the last 10 years, because it has been in the last decade or, even 5, 3, 2, like it's changing every single year. And when I first started doing aesthetics, it's been 15 years and everything was word of mouth. I built my entire clientele off of word of mouth referrals. And I think a lot of people who have been in the industry for, a minute, that's how they built their clienteles. And that's not how it is necessarily anymore. It used to be as simple as, Pam told Becky that, oh, my nail tech is the best. She would text me and book, no questions asked. There wouldn't be, hey, can I see pictures, or checking them out online to see their Google reviews? Nothing like that. Whereas now, I even find with myself, same thing. 15 years ago, somebody would say, hey, you need to check out this restaurant. I would just go. I wouldn't even think about it. Now I'm looking at their Google reviews. I'm looking on their Instagram to see pictures of everything. I'm checking out their highlight bubbles to see if they have specials going on. And this is how it is, I feel like, across every industry right now. It's so research based, and it's not just enough to go off of, a good referral or something like that. You are diving into every corner of this company's digital presence. And so that's why I think it's important that we talk about this as salon professionals, that people are looking for these things. So you want to make sure that everything is up to date and modern, and kind of look at it from a client point of view, and, make sure that you're touching on everything that they are searching for.
Yeah, I mean, we're just in the information era. Information is so accessible that people are naturally curious. And it's so easy once you're online to just kind of go down the rabbit hole and you click and you find something else, you go further. Funny, scary moment not too long ago. My mom, in her 80s, let's position it that way, told me one day, she's like, oh, I Googled you on the weekend. Like my mom Googled me. I was like, why on earth would you even do that? But again, it's just a curiosity thing. Like she was online and she, I
Mhm.
guess, said, oh, like I'm going to Google my son and see what comes up. So people are looking for information. You have no idea it's happening behind the scenes. So the first area that I'd say that you need to be really working on and thinking about as a salon business is Google, right? It's often the starting point. And what people are looking for, remember, they're not necessarily just zoning in on you. They're evaluating you versus other potential businesses out there. And usually it starts with a very generic search, right? It's just, hair salon. It might be hair salon near me, but that's just really dependent. I mean, that's people who are just really kind of really lazy and just want the closest thing to them. Most people are going to say, a specific service that they're looking for, like, balayage in my city, or hair extensions in my city, or, bridal hair in my city, whatever the service is that they're looking for, plus the city or the neighborhood or the location. And what they're looking for is like, who's showing up first and foremost, right? Are you showing up on that first page of results? Because they're going to be clicking on a few different options and evaluating them. So you want to make sure that you're showing up for those important keywords. And that's part of a basic SEO, Google SEO strategy, search engine optimization. So the second thing that sometimes is important related to Google is, people will talk about your Google business profile. That's when somebody actually is zoned in on you and they type your name, of your business into Google. Then your profile is going to show up on the right-hand side. That's just giving them, a lot of the basic details, your contact information, the maps, your phone number. They can click to go to your website from there. Typically, they might have already been there. But I'd say the most important part on your Google business profile that they're looking for is those Google reviews. That's where they're going to go and check the reviews that have been written about your business. So you want to make sure that you have a high Google rating. I would suggest try to make sure that you're 4.7 stars or above on average, and that you're getting a constant influx of new reviews. People don't want to be looking at it and only seeing reviews from 6 months ago, 9 months ago, a year ago. That leaves doubt in their mind. You want fresh reviews from like last week, 2 weeks ago, people saying amazing experience. That gives people a lot more confidence in your business. So those are the first areas I'd say from a Google standpoint of what people are expecting to see online. Sarah, maybe you can take us down the rabbit path into the social media world and what people are looking for.
For sure. So again, I think with any of these platforms, it's super important to try and put on the lens of a client, right? So as a salon pro, you're posting nice pictures of hair and everything like that. And we've talked this to death, but that's just not enough for social media anymore. So I would say like things like, it's nice for a potential client to know like who you are, what you look like, maybe even like, parts of your personality. Because if you're like wild and outgoing and they're more reserved, they're maybe going to go with something that's a little bit more, up their alley. Even just things like the quality of the photos of the hair that you're posting. If they're thinking that they might be a potential client and they see that there's kind of like awkward photos or not super flattering photos, they're like, that could be me on this page now. So even just things like that, like you're not thinking about that when you're posting this photo of hair, but that's something a potential client might be thinking about. And then even just like, again, the bare bone basics of how to book, where you're located. These are such they should be kind of common sense things, but you'd be surprised how often I'm going on not only just like salon professionals pages, but again, restaurants or whatever it might be. And I'm like, I don't even know where this is. I don't know how to make a reservation. I don't know how to book this appointment. I don't know how to contact this person, right? So I think that with our social media, it's super important not only just to be showcasing obviously like the work you do, because that is super important, but again, just kind of taking it up that next level and that next notch and making sure that you're kind of hitting every touch point that a new client might be questioning or, needing the answers to in order to book with you. So I think just like going through your social media and doing a really solid audit, and making sure, again, looking at it from that client point of view and making sure that you're answering any question that a potential client might have.
Love it. Yeah, people are looking for all this stuff, so it's reflective of who you are as a business, but also who you are from the personal side. I'm going to speak to websites because your website is often, the first impression that you're giving, and it's the place where you control 100% of the image and can be unique, right? When you're on social media, you're inside of the platform, whether it's Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, and it's harder to differentiate yourself. Your website is where you can really present yourself, and that's what people want to see. Like, what makes you stand out? What makes you unique? So you don't want to miss that opportunity, first and foremost, to have a powerful website representing your business, because people are absolutely going to be landing on this. And I would say you almost think of it, if you're not sure, think of it how you look for a restaurant, right? And you're going to a couple of restaurant websites. I see a lot of similarities in terms of what consumers are looking for when they're on a salon website. We do free website audits all the time. And I was conducting one last week with a salon owner, and we just do a quick top line review of their website. And we point out, sort of areas where they can make improvements. This particular one, on their homepage, zero mention of the address, the phone number, the email, in any kind of Google listing. I was like, and the salon owner was shocked. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that's not there." I'm like, it's kind of a basic thing, but I was even looking, to make sure that I was on the right website, because as you all know, salon names, there's probably 10 different salons that have the same name across North America. So, sometimes you want to be sure that you're on the right one in your city. And anyhow, this salon owner was shocked by it, rightfully so. But if we hadn't done that audit with them, who knows how long that would have continued to sit there without that information. So having your basic contact information, I know it sounds basic, but sometimes it's missed. And if you, by the way, want a free audit of your website with us, we're more than happy to do that for you. Zero strings attached. You can reach out to us by email, info@salonsos.ca. Just say, free audit through the podcast you heard about. We'll happily set up a quick appointment with you. Some things that you want to make sure you have on your website. Imagery. What does your salon look like? People want to see what's the energy, the experience, the style. Is this more like a luxury thing? Is this more like a basement thing? Is it more like a modern, urban, warehouse type of environment? They want to know just what's the feeling of the overall vibe of the salon. Secondly, they obviously want to know services and pricing. You don't need every single service and every single price point for all the different variations. That's actually going to be confusing and overwhelming. You want to give people an overall sense. What are the main categories of services? What's the budget range, so they can just quickly assess whether it's within their budget or not. That's what they need to know at this stage. You also want information about the service providers. If you're a solopreneur, then make sure you have a picture of yourself and a little bio. This is where you can explain who you are, a little bit of the values, why you do what you do, connect with people. If it's you have a full team to display, again, make sure you have pictures. A little bit of information is helpful because it allows people to connect with them, right? Before they officially connect with them. People want to get a sense, like, who would actually be the one doing my hair, doing my nails, doing my skin. That's important. It's a very personal and intimate experience that we have in the beauty industry. And I don't want just anybody, kind of working on my beauty needs. So that's an important part of it. The contact information, as I mentioned, and you have to have a call to action. What do you want people to do? Do you want them to book? Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to click to go see something else? That has to be very clear cut and in multiple places on your website, because as we said, this is the research phase, but at some point they're going to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm interested. I think I want to try them out. As soon as they make that decision in their head, it's going to be very obvious how to do that. Where do I click? What do I do? And you need to make sure that that is very clear on their website for you. Sarah, maybe you can talk to us. I mean, we've talked about Google, we've talked about social media, we've talked about websites. Those are kind of the main areas that people are kind of doing their research. But I guess, what do you think about the actual content itself, and how we need to be showcasing information, I guess, across these platforms?
I think that like the biggest thing is now, like we're in this entire episode, we've been talking about, kind of like the research first base client. So when people are researching, they're looking for expertise, they're looking for education, they're looking for everything like that. So as much as, at one point in time, it might have been enough just to, post aesthetic, pretty pictures of the work that you do. People can find pretty work really anywhere. I guess depending on where you're at and like what location you're in and everything like that. Like I know where I am, there's an amazing salon on every corner pretty much with super talented hairstylists and estheticians and everything like that. So if I'm a consumer, and as most consumers are, if you're looking at two different service providers and they both provide what looks like beautiful work, but one has, one picture says, oh, look at this balayage I did, whereas the next one goes, this is how you can maintain your balayage at home, or other educational posts that talk about aftercare or what types of steps they do to like continue their own education as a service provider. I'm going to go in that direction instead, right? So I guess like bottom line is that's a super important thing to remember, is that people are no longer just looking for services because that's easy enough to find. They're looking for expertise. So you want to become the expert in what you're talking about, and you want to differentiate yourself from, the sea of other service providers that there are in your city. So yeah, I think that that's just the biggest thing, is like you want to be teaching people. This isn't just about posting pretty pictures. It's about teaching people and building that trust before they ever, step foot into your salon.
Totally. Sarah, you nailed it on the head. You said you need to differentiate yourself from all the other competitors out there, because when people are doing their online research and evaluation and audit of you behind the scenes, they're comparing you. And how do you stand out? How are you different? How are you memorable? And the whole expertise angle, expert, is a huge one. I think also trying to connect on a values level is important, because more and more in today's world, consumers want to do business with companies who kind of share some values or beliefs, whether that's about, community involvement, whether it's about supporting the environment, whether it's about, educational and growth and learning environment. Whatever that is, you want to make sure that you stand for something and you communicate that so that people can resonate with you. That's how you can create stronger connections with people who are going to be wanting to do business with you and not just looking for, price points. Remember, clients today aren't just looking for a salon. They're looking for confidence, they're looking for credibility, and they're looking for expertise, right? Before they ever decide to sit in your chair. The truth is, your digital presence is now doing a large part of that work long before the first appointment or the first conversation ever happens. So salons that understand this shift and intentionally, right, build their online presence to educate, inspire, and build that trust are the ones that are consistently attracting the best clients. If you need help figuring out your digital presence, whether it's working or not, as I kind of mentioned earlier about websites, we do offer a free digital marketing audit, and we're going to offer that to listeners of this podcast. We'll set up a completely free 30-minute call to review your digital presence, give you some tips and priorities to focus on. No strings attached. Just send us an email, like I mentioned earlier, to info@salonsos.ca asking for the free digital audit, and we'll schedule a time with you. All right, that's the scoop for today, everyone. Implement something you learned, and remember, when salon professionals grow, the entire industry rises together. Thank you so much for listening to the Salon Scoop podcast. This show is produced by Salon S.O.S, a digital marketing agency by industry professionals for industry professionals. If you want simple and affordable solutions for any of your salon marketing needs, such as websites, client loyalty, Google search rankings, social media, or more, come visit us at salonsos.ca or on Instagram at salon.s.o.s. If you want to hear more episodes like this and help us continue to bring the industry great content, it would mean so much to us if you would support us in one of the following ways. Either share this episode with one other industry professional, and rate the show on Spotify, or write us a quick review on Apple Music. We want to hear your feedback. If you have follow-up questions or ideas for future episodes, please reach out. DM us on Instagram at salons.s.o.s or hit us up on our website again at salonsos.ca. Again, thanks so much for listening. Now go get your hustle on, keep smiling, and we'll catch you on our next episode.